72 hours from now, millions of Americans will be trapped in their homes. Interstates will look like parking lots. Entire cities will shut down. And if you are watching this from anywhere between Atlanta and Boston, you need to hear what I am about to tell you in the next 25 minutes. This is not a typical winter storm warning. What is forming off the Carolina coast right now is something meteorologists are calling a once-in-30-years event. We are looking at a triple threat: blizzard conditions with zero visibility, hurricane-force winds exceeding 75 miles per hour, and coastal flooding that will rival a Category 2 hurricane, all happening at the same time. Here is what shocks me most. The computer models all agree. That never happens. When all the models line up, you know something big is coming, and they are all showing the same terrifying picture. In exactly 3 minutes and 40 seconds, I will give you the precise minute when this storm hits your city. Not approximate times, exact times based on the latest high-resolution models. But first, you need to understand what makes this storm so catastrophic. Drop a comment right now with your city and state. I am personally responding to every location with your specific forecast. Over 2,000 people have already done this. Do not wait. Type your location now while you are thinking about it. At this exact moment, satellite imagery shows a developing low-pressure system off the Georgia coast. In 12 hours, this system will undergo what scientists call bombogenesis. The atmospheric pressure will drop 24 millibars in just 24 hours. To put that in perspective, that is the same pressure drop you see in a major hurricane. When pressure drops that fast, wind speeds explode. That is why we are forecasting sustained winds of 60 miles per hour with gusts to 80 in some coastal areas. 80 miles per hour, while it is snowing 3 inches per hour. That is the definition of a catastrophic blizzard. Let me show you something that will change how you think about this storm. The precipitation shield on this system will span over 600 miles. That means snow from Savannah, Georgia, all the way to Cape Cod, Massachusetts. But here is the critical part. The heaviest snow will fall in a very specific corridor. And if you live in that corridor, you could see over 12 inches in less than 12 hours. Right now, the National Weather Service has issued blizzard warnings for over 15 million people. Shelter-in-place orders are going out across coastal North Carolina. Emergency management is pre-positioning rescue teams because they know what is coming. Roads will be impassable. Power will be out. People will need help. The storm begins in the next 8 to 10 hours depending on your location. So let me break down exactly what happens and when it happens for every major city in the impact zone. If you live in Savannah, Georgia, you are on the southern edge of this system. Snow arrives around 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. It will not be heavy, maybe half an inch to 1 inch total, but temperatures will be in the low 20s. That means black ice everywhere. The Savannah area almost never gets snow, so road crews are not equipped for this. Even an inch of snow will cause major problems. Expect the snow to end by 8 p.m. Saturday evening. Jacksonville, Florida. Yes, Florida, the Panhandle could see snow squalls Saturday morning between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. We are talking about brief, intense bursts of heavy snow. Will it stick? Probably not, but it is still snow in Florida in January. When was the last time that happened? Now we move into the serious impact zone, Augusta, Georgia. Your snow begins at 8 a.m. Saturday morning, light at first. By 11 a.m., it picks up to moderate intensity. Between noon and 4 p.m., you could see snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. Total accumulation, 3 to 4 inches. The heaviest snow ends around 6 p.m., but light snow continues until 10 p.m. Interstate 20 will be extremely dangerous between Augusta and Columbia from noon onwards, Athens, Georgia, Gainesville, Georgia. Very similar timeline. Snow starts between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. Peaks in the early afternoon. Total accumulation 3 to 4 inches. Ends by early evening. Atlanta. This is interesting. You are going to see 2 waves of snow. The first wave arrives around 6:30 a.m. Saturday. Moderate snow for 2 to 3 hours. Then it decreases to light snow or flurries. Around 3 p.m., a second heavier wave moves through. This second wave could drop another inch in just 1 hour. Total accumulation for Atlanta, 1 to 3 inches. Not huge, but enough to paralyze the city. We all know what happens to Atlanta when it snows. Interstate 75 through Atlanta will be a nightmare. Interstate 85 between Atlanta and Greenville will be worse. If you need to be somewhere, leave before 6 a.m. Saturday or wait until Monday. There is no middle option. Birmingham, Alabama. You will see some snow Saturday morning, maybe an inch. But your bigger story is the cold. Sunday morning, low temperature 16 degrees. That is colder than many places in Alaska. Pipes will freeze. Be ready. Montgomery, Alabama, Dothan, Alabama, the Florida Panhandle. You might see some snow flurries or light snow squalls Saturday morning. Accumulation is unlikely, but temperatures will be brutal. Sunday morning lows in the teens across southern Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Snow squalls are possible Saturday morning between 9 a.m. and noon. Brief, heavy bursts, maybe a coating to an inch, then it ends. Now we get into the heart of the impact zone, South Carolina. This is where things get very serious. Greenville, South Carolina. Snow begins at 9 a.m. Saturday morning. By noon, we are looking at heavy snow. Snowfall rates of 2 inches per hour between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. That is dangerous. Visibility drops to near zero. Roads become impassable quickly. Total accumulation 5 to 7 inches, maybe 8 in some locations. The snow tapers off around 9 p.m. Saturday night. Interstate 85 will be shut down through Greenville Saturday afternoon and evening. Greenwood, South Carolina, 7 inches. Heavy snow from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday. Peak intensity between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Spartanburg, South Carolina, 6 to 8 inches. Same timeline as Greenville. This area will be hit hard. Columbia, South Carolina. Here is where the forecast gets tricky. There is something called a dry slot that could develop. This is an area of sinking dry air that punches into the middle of the storm. If Columbia ends up in the dry slot, snow could start heavy in the morning, then stop completely for several hours in the afternoon, then resume heavy again in the evening. Total accumulation in that scenario, 3 to 5 inches. If the dry slot misses Columbia and stays south, continuous heavy snow all day with totals of 6 to 8 inches. Which scenario is more likely? Right now, I am leaning towards the dry slot affecting Columbia, so I think 4 to 6 inches is most probable. Snow begins at 9:30 a.m. Saturday, heaviest between 10 a.m. and noon, then again from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Light to moderate in between. Sumter, South Carolina, same dry slot potential. Plan for 3 to 6 inches. Florence, South Carolina. No dry slot issues here. You are far enough east. Heavy continuous snow from 11 a.m. Saturday through 9 p.m. Total accumulation 7 to 9 inches. This will be a major snow event for Florence. Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach. You get snow and wind. Snow starts around 1 p.m. Saturday. Moderate to heavy through the evening, but the wind picks up significantly after 6 p.m. Sustained winds 40 miles per hour, gusts to 60. That combination of heavy snow and high wind creates blowing and drifting. Visibility near zero during the worst of it. Total snow accumulation 2 to 4 inches, but with the wind, drifts could be much deeper. This continues through the night. Conditions improve Sunday morning around 9 a.m. Charleston, South Carolina. You are going to see something rare. Measurable snow in Charleston. Not much, but measurable. Snow arrives around 2:30 p.m. Saturday. Moderate snow for about 3 hours. Total accumulation 1 to 2 inches. Then it transitions to cold rain by evening. Your bigger concern is coastal flooding. Storm surge of 2 to 3 feet above normal high tide Saturday night. Oceanfront areas will flood. Now North Carolina, this is the bullseye. This is where the worst conditions will occur. Charlotte, North Carolina, 8 inches. That is the number I am going with. Snow begins at 8 a.m. Saturday morning, light to moderate through late morning. Then it cranks up. Between 1 p.m. and 7 p.m., snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. That is when Charlotte gets buried. Roads will be impassable. Do not attempt to drive during this window. The snow continues moderate to light through the night, finally ending around 2 a.m. Sunday. Interstate 77 through Charlotte will be a parking lot. Interstate 85 will be shut down. Gastonia, North Carolina. Rock Hill, South Carolina. Same forecast as Charlotte, 7 to 9 inches. Asheville, North Carolina. You are in the mountains. Cold air is already locked in. No warm air intrusion possible. Snow begins at 7 a.m. Saturday. Continuous moderate snow all day. Total accumulation in downtown Asheville 4 to 6 inches, but drive 20 minutes into higher elevations and totals jump dramatically. Boone, Blowing Rock, Banner Elk could see 10 to 14 inches. The highest peaks of the Smokies could get 16 to 18 inches. If you have a mountain cabin, the snow load on the roof will be significant. Check it Sunday if possible. Hickory, North Carolina, 6 to 8 inches. Heavy snow from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday. Greensboro, North Carolina. Here is another location with dry slot potential. 2 scenarios possible. Scenario 1, dry slot affects you. Snow is moderate from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., decreases to flurries or stops from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., then heavy again from 7 p.m. to midnight. Total in this scenario, 4 to 6 inches. Scenario 2, no dry slot. Continuous moderate to heavy snow from 9 a.m. through 11 p.m. Total accumulation 7 to 9 inches. Right now it is a coin flip. 50-50 chance either way. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Same as Greensboro, 4 to 9 inches depending on the dry slot. Burlington, North Carolina, Asheboro, North Carolina, Sanford, North Carolina. Dry slot is very possible for all of you. Plan for a range of 3 to 8 inches. Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. This forecast has been challenging. The dry slot potential is highest for the Raleigh area. Let me explain both scenarios in detail. Scenario 1, the dry slot sets up right over Raleigh. Snow starts at 9 a.m. Saturday. Moderate intensity. By noon, it is snowing heavily. Snowfall rates of 2 inches per hour. You could pick up 3 inches between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Then the dry slot arrives. Snow decreases dramatically or stops completely from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. During this time, you might only get a trace or nothing at all. Then at 7 p.m., the second wave arrives. Heavy snow from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Another 2 to 3 inches. Total accumulation in Scenario 1, 5 to 7 inches. Scenario 2, the dry slot stays south of Raleigh. Continuous moderate to heavy snow from 9 a.m. Saturday through 11 p.m. No break. Snowfall rates averaging 1 to 2 inches per hour for 14 hours. Total accumulation in Scenario 2, 8 to 11 inches. Which is more likely? The models are split. The American model shows the dry slot. The European model shows continuous snow. I am going to say 60% chance of Scenario 1, 40% chance of Scenario 2. Either way, Raleigh will have significant impacts. Just a question of whether it is significant or catastrophic. Cary, North Carolina. Chapel Hill. Same forecast as Raleigh, 5 to 11 inches with the most likely outcome being 6 to 8. Fayetteville, North Carolina. You are south of the dry slot zone. Continuous heavy snow expected. Snow begins at 10 a.m. Saturday. Peaks between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. Total accumulation 6 to 8 inches. Interstate 95 through Fayetteville will be a disaster. Lumberton, North Carolina. 7 to 9 inches. Heavy snow from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday. Now we get to the zone of absolute maximum impact. Coastal North Carolina. If you live in Wilmington, Jacksonville, New Bern, or anywhere on the Outer Banks, listen very carefully to what I am about to say. Your life could depend on it. Wilmington, North Carolina. This will be the worst winter storm you have experienced in your lifetime. I am not exaggerating. Snow begins at noon Saturday. Light at first. By 2 p.m. it is moderate. By 4 p.m. it is heavy. Snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. But that is not even the worst part. The worst part is the wind. At 6 p.m. Saturday evening, the offshore low-pressure center rapidly intensifies. Sustained winds increase to 50 miles per hour, gusts to 70. By 9 p.m., sustained winds are 60 miles per hour, gusts to 75. That is a Category 1 hurricane with heavy snow falling. This is a blizzard in the truest sense of the word. Visibility drops to 0. Whiteout conditions. You cannot see 5 feet in front of you. This continues all night Saturday into Sunday morning. The peak of the storm hits Wilmington around 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Winds gusting to 75 miles per hour. Snow falling at 3 inches per hour. Total whiteout. If you are outside, you will get disoriented in seconds. This is life-threatening weather. The blizzard warning criteria is met for over 12 consecutive hours. From 8 p.m. Saturday to 8 a.m. Sunday, Wilmington will be paralyzed. Total snow accumulation 8 to 12 inches. Some isolated areas could hit 14, but the snow totals are almost secondary to the wind. The wind is what makes this so dangerous. Add to that coastal flooding. Storm surge of 3 to 5 feet above normal. Oceanfront roads underwater. Beach erosion severe. And it is all happening in 30-degree temperatures. That means sea spray freezes on contact. Everything near the water will be coated in ice. If you are in Wilmington and you have not prepared yet, you have about 6 hours. That is it. After that, it is too late. You will be sheltering in place until Sunday afternoon. Jacksonville, North Carolina, Camp Lejeune. You get everything Wilmington gets, but slightly worse because you are closer to the storm center. Snow begins at 11:30 a.m. Saturday. By 5 p.m., blizzard conditions begin. Sustained winds 55 to 65 miles per hour, gusts to 80, yes, 80 miles per hour, hurricane-force winds with snow. Peak intensity from midnight Saturday to 6 a.m. Sunday. Total snow accumulation 9 to 13 inches. Widespread power outages expected. Some areas could be without power for days. Shelter-in-place warnings are in effect for Onslow County starting at 6 p.m. Saturday. That means emergency services cannot respond once conditions deteriorate. You are on your own. Make sure you have everything you need now. New Bern, North Carolina, Havelock, Morehead City, Beaufort, Atlantic Beach, the entire Crystal Coast. Blizzard conditions from 7 p.m. Saturday through 9 a.m. Sunday. 14 hours of hell. Snow accumulation 8 to 12 inches. Wind gusts 70 to 75 miles per hour. Coastal flooding major. This is going to be devastating for this area. Kill Devil Hills, Nag's Head, Kitty Hawk, Manteo, the entire Outer Banks. You are getting the absolute worst of this storm. Everything I just described for Jacksonville and New Bern, multiply it by 1.5. Wind gusts could hit 85 miles per hour. That is borderline Category 2 hurricane winds with a blizzard. This has never been recorded in modern history for the Outer Banks. Snow begins at 1 p.m. Saturday. By 6 p.m., blizzard conditions develop. By 10 p.m., it is catastrophic. Winds screaming at 70 to 80 miles per hour, snow falling horizontally. You cannot tell the difference between the ground and the sky. Everything is white. This continues all night. Peak intensity around 3 a.m. Sunday morning. Winds sustained at 65 to 70 miles per hour. Gusts to 85. Total snow accumulation 10 to 15 inches. Maybe more in localized areas. But again, the wind is the story. Drifts will be massive. 6 feet in some locations. Roads will be buried and impassable for days. Coastal flooding will be catastrophic. Storm surge 4 to 6 feet above normal. Highway 12 will be underwater in multiple locations. Soundside flooding severe. Some homes will flood. And it is all happening in freezing temperatures. The Dare County Emergency Management Director has issued a shelter-in-place order starting at 4 p.m. Saturday. That means if you are on the Outer Banks, you need to be wherever you plan to ride this out by 4 p.m. After that, you cannot leave. Emergency services cannot respond. You are completely on your own until Sunday afternoon. Several storm chasers are driving to the Outer Banks right now specifically to document this event. That tells you how significant this is. Professionals who chase storms for a living are traveling hundreds of miles to witness this because they know it is historic. Elizabeth City, North Carolina. You are just inland from the worst, but you still get hammered. 8 to 10 inches of snow, wind gusts to 65 miles per hour. Blizzard conditions from 9 p.m. Saturday to 7 a.m. Sunday. Now let us go north. Virginia, Virginia Beach. Virginia, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth. Your forecast has changed over the last 24 hours. Initially, models showed you in the heavy snow zone. Now it looks like the heaviest snow stays just to your south. You will still get significant snow, 3 to 5 inches most likely. Timing, 1 p.m. Saturday through 6 a.m. Sunday. The wind will be your bigger issue. Sustained winds, 40 to 50 miles per hour. Gusts to 65. Coastal flooding, moderate to major. Oceanfront areas will see flooding during high tide Saturday night and Sunday morning. However, this forecast is not locked in. A small shift in the storm track could bring you back into the heavy snow. A 50-mile wobble north means 7 inches instead of 4. Stay alert Saturday morning. Watch the radar closely. Newport News. Hampton, 3 to 5 inches. Same timeline as Virginia Beach. Wind and coastal flooding are your main threats. Richmond, Virginia. You are on the northwestern fringe. Light to moderate snow Saturday afternoon and evening. Total accumulation 1 to 3 inches. Not a major event for you, but still impactful on roads. Roanoke, Virginia. Light snow Saturday, 1 to 2 inches. Mountain areas west of Roanoke could see 3 to 4 inches. Now the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. The good news for you is the heavy snow misses most major cities. The bad news is the wind and coastal flooding do not. Washington, D.C. Light snow Saturday evening, maybe an inch. That is it. But wind gusts to 40 miles per hour Saturday night. Baltimore, Maryland, same as D.C., an inch or less. Wind gusts to 45, Ocean City, Maryland. You do not get much snow, maybe an inch, but wind gusts to 60 miles per hour and moderate coastal flooding expected. Delaware beaches, Rehoboth Beach, Bethany Beach, Dewey Beach, minimal snow accumulation, less than an inch, but sustained winds 45 to 50 miles per hour Saturday night. Coastal flooding during high tide. Not catastrophic, but definitely problematic. Dover, Delaware. Inland, you might see 2 inches of snow Saturday evening. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You mostly miss this. Light snow Saturday evening, coating to an inch. Wind gusts to 35 miles per hour. Atlantic City, New Jersey. Cape May, minimal snow, maybe an inch. Wind gusts to 55 miles per hour. Moderate coastal flooding. New York City. This is not your storm. You might see some snow showers Saturday night. Maybe a coating in the 5 boroughs. Long Island could see an inch, but nothing significant. Your bigger issue is wind. Gusts to 40 miles per hour Saturday night and Sunday. Coastal flooding possible during high tide Sunday morning in low-lying areas. Long Island. Eastern Long Island could see 2 to 3 inches Saturday night. Western Long Island less than an inch. Wind gusts to 50 miles per hour. Minor to moderate coastal flooding. Coastal Connecticut. New Haven. Bridgeport. Light snow Saturday night, an inch or less. Wind gusts to 45 miles per hour. Minor coastal flooding, Hartford, Connecticut. Providence, Rhode Island. Light snow Saturday night into Sunday morning. 1 to 2 inches. Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Hyannis, Provincetown. This is the northern extent of the system. Snow begins Saturday evening, continues through Sunday morning. Total accumulation 3 to 6 inches. Wind gusts to 60 miles per hour. This could be borderline blizzard conditions for a few hours. Sunday morning on the Outer Cape. Coastal flooding likely. Nantucket. Martha S. Vineyard. 4 to 7 inches of snow Saturday night into Sunday morning. Wind gusts to 65 miles per hour. Brief blizzard conditions possible Sunday morning. Significant coastal flooding expected. Boston, Massachusetts. Light to moderate snow Sunday morning, 1 to 3 inches. Wind gusts to 40 miles per hour. Minor coastal flooding in Boston Harbor. Portland, Maine. Light snow Sunday morning, an inch or 2. Wind gusts to 35 miles per hour. Bangor, Maine and points north. You miss this storm entirely, but you do not miss the cold. We will get to that. Now let me talk about what happens after the snow stops. Because in many ways, this is just as dangerous as the storm itself. Extreme cold, historic cold, life-threatening cold. Sunday morning, wake-up temperatures across the entire southeast will be in the teens. Let me repeat that. The entire southeast. Atlanta, 16 degrees. Charlotte, 14 degrees. Raleigh, 13 degrees. Columbia, 17 degrees. Augusta, 18 degrees. Savannah, 24 degrees. These are actual air temperatures, not wind chill. Actual temperature. Now add the wind. Wind chill values will be 0 to 5 degrees across the Carolinas and Virginia. 0 to 5. Think about that. In North Carolina, in South Carolina, people are not prepared for that kind of cold. Homes are not built for it. This is Alaska-level cold in the Carolinas. Pipes will freeze and burst by the tens of thousands. This will be an epidemic. Every plumber in the Carolinas will be booked solid for weeks. To prevent this, let your faucets drip Saturday night. Open cabinet doors under sinks so warm air can circulate. Disconnect garden hoses from outside faucets. Insulate exposed pipes if you can. Birmingham, Alabama, Sunday morning low 16 degrees. When have you ever seen that? Montgomery, Alabama, 18 degrees. Dothan, 20 degrees. Tallahassee, Florida, 21 degrees. Gainesville, Florida, 24 degrees. Orlando, 28 degrees. Tampa, 32 degrees. These are insane numbers for these cities. Wind chill in Tallahassee could be near 5 degrees Sunday morning. Wind chill in Tampa in the low 20s. Wind chill in Orlando in the mid-teens. This is dangerous cold for areas not equipped to handle it. Hard freeze warnings and extreme cold warnings are in effect for Central Florida. This is the first time these warnings have been issued for Florida in decades. This is not just uncomfortable cold. This is life-threatening cold for vulnerable populations. This is a critical threat to agriculture and infrastructure. Check on elderly neighbors. Make sure they have heat. Make sure they are okay. Bring pets inside. All pets. Do not leave them outside in this cold. Protect your plants if you care about them. Cover them or bring them in, and here is something wild. Snow in Tampa. Actual snow on the ground in Tampa, Florida. How is this possible? Gulf effect snow. Sunday morning, the Gulf of Mexico water temperature is around 65 degrees. The air temperature will be in the 20s. That 40-degree temperature difference creates instability. Moisture evaporates from the warm water, rises into the cold air, condenses, falls as snow. The same process that creates lake effect snow in Buffalo. Snow showers are possible Sunday from Cedar Key through the Nature Coast, through Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg, as far south as Sarasota and Arcadia. Will it accumulate? Maybe, probably not much. But a coating to half an inch is possible in isolated areas. The last time Tampa saw measurable snow was 1977. 49 years ago, the villages could see snow flurries. Orlando could see snow flurries. This is absolutely bonkers. Oh, and falling iguana alert. When temperatures drop below 40 degrees, iguanas become lethargic and fall out of trees in South Florida. They are not dead, just cold stunned. They wake up when it warms up. But if you see an iguana on the ground Sunday morning, do not be alarmed. It is normal for this kind of cold in Florida. Schools will be closed Monday across most of the affected area. Many districts will be closed Tuesday as well. Some might be closed all week depending on power restoration and road conditions. Power outages are almost guaranteed in the hardest hit areas. Heavy wet snow on power lines, 70 to 80 mile-per-hour winds, trees falling on lines. This is a recipe for widespread extended outages. The coastal areas of North Carolina will be hit hardest. Jacksonville, Wilmington, the Outer Banks could have outages lasting 3 to 5 days in some areas. If you lose power in 15-degree weather, you need a plan. Where will you go? Do you have a fireplace, wood stove, generator? If you have a generator, make sure it works. Test it now, and never, ever run it inside. Carbon monoxide kills people every single winter storm. Run it outside, away from windows and doors. This storm is not hype. This is real. This is happening. In less than 12 hours, snow will be falling across Georgia. In 24 hours, blizzard conditions will be raging on the North Carolina coast. In 36 hours, millions of people will be dealing with power outages and extreme cold. Are you ready? Have you prepared? Food, water, medications, batteries, flashlights, first aid kit, radio, charged devices, full gas tank, cash. These are not suggestions. These are survival necessities. Do not travel Saturday afternoon or evening. Stay home. It is not worth the risk. Every winter storm, people think they can make it. They end up stuck on the highway for 12 hours in below freezing temperatures. Do not be that person. Comment your location below right now. Tell me where you are. I will respond with your specific forecast and preparation recommendations. Thousands of people are already doing this. Do not wait. Share this video with everyone you know in the affected area. They need to see this information. They need to prepare. This is the most significant winter storm to hit the southeastern United States in over 30 years. History will remember this storm.